significant. You learn how to control the craft, not just to avoid crashing.
Yeah, he's not just just going hard as he can at all times, which is part of it, but also thinking about the splits and which way to go. Where's a good decision, maybe to get around the rider in front of him, and what it takes to do that, rather than just going balls out the entire time. Maybe a different split might help.
Well, it's really on the rider, and it does. A lot of people come to jet ski racing for motorcycles, and no matter what it is. But out here on the water, like if you're on a dirt bike track, and you know this, you're a dirt bike racer, as I early on, the track changes, but it's a little bit every lap.
Yeah.
With these watercraft, if you're not looking ahead, basically to the end of your vision and planning what you're going to do, you're going to get surprised by a wave that wasn't there 3 seconds before, but it is now.
Yeah, no, the track is constantly changing. And in addition to that, unlike motorcycle racing, in watercraft racing now we have split race courses.
Yeah.
And you can make a decision on which way you want to go and utilize the split. The split is out there to help passing during the race, to allow riders to make a pass without having to follow somebody directly, which is very difficult because of the nature of the pumps and cavitation and things.
No question. You see the pros, the top pros are always watching prior races and watching the water and seeing how people are going around it, looking for places where they can get an advantage when they're out there on the track. And like we said, the wind comes up, check, track changes. Wind dies down, track's completely different.
And also they keep an eye on the splits to see which one appears to be faster during the day.
Because at different times during the day.
And oftentimes in the morning, it is faster than the other, and that may change by the afternoon. And of course, at times the course marshals do adjust the splits if they perceive their one it may be a little faster than the other. They'll try to tighten things up to make them as equal as humanly possible. I was talking with Grumpy this morning, and he was telling me, he worked. He just retired in February, but he worked runner assembly line in Georgia.
I was just going to say that's in Georgia,
Atlanta, and he is riding a 2023 GP 1800 that he actually in building.
Yep.
That boat was on the assembly line when he was working on it, and so probably the only racer that I can remember in history that probably has that experience,
right?
Of actually working on the building of his own watercraft on the assembly line. I think that's pretty cool, Kurt.
I think it's totally cool.
I mean, we've
when
been
you told
around,
me that story this morning, I was like, damn, that's cool.
We've been around a lot and seen a lot, but not that.
No. I'm looking at this, and in the runabout class, I'm thinking that inside is way faster today.
Could be. It's hard to say without two riders
side by side
heading into the split equal and seeing which one, kind of has the advantage.
Speaking of which, we got a battle going on out here right now.
What's going on with Marcio?
Yeah, it's hard to tell until
am
they
I
come
correct?
in
But
here.
he's been caught.
I'm not going to say that until I see it, but I have that same belief, Rick.
Or he slowed down.
No, he's in the lead.
Yeah, but he got caught by Oler, which happened yesterday too as well.
Oh, you mean over the course of, not just Oler has been creeping up.
Now, okay, he put Grumpy a lap down. That's why they were close. And Oler's back in second. Grumpy's in third, but he's a lap down. That's what happened.
Marcio Benedetti having himself some fun out here this weekend.
Yeah, he's looking good. He's dominating, no question about it. And that he's really settled into
figuring that Sea-Doo out over the course of the time we've seen him race, Kurt.
It's so funny you say that, Rick. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Imagine that.
He is an example of a guy who came in and has just worked at it and worked at it and worked at it, and now he's at the top of this class right now.
Yeah.
If he continues, he might consider moving up into the pro class as he gets faster and faster.
Well, he's
with more time on water.
Yeah, he's definitely way more competent in negotiating the closed course now this year. This first race of the year we've seen him. And you can see the improvement on the behalf of
we won't
Benedetti.
talk about the first race or two.
No, I mean we always talk white flag out, 1 lap to go for Benedetti, but we've talked about it many times. I mean the beginner runabout class is absolutely frightening at times.
Terrifying.
We've seen some accidents. We've seen some crazy things happen, near accidents. People going the wrong way and nearly collide. I mean, everything you could imagine. We have witnessed. Amateur skis up next.
Race number 3. Hi, Troy. Can't hear a word you're saying, but you look good in that. If you want me to hear, you got to get all the way up here, dude. I didn't bring my hearing aid today. Seriously.
Race 4, Jim. You're in race 4.
Stop talking about the beginner runabout.
Okay. Why? Because you're going to be out there with them?
We do that when you're on the course. He's jealous of Marcio.
Marcio takes the checkered flag and the win, and a clean sweep this weekend. An amateur runabout box stock. Great ride by Mr. Benedetti out of Orlando.
All right, we're switching holes back to the skis.
Brian Oler going to bring his Sea-Doo in second position. So he'll take a second overall for the weekend in the amateur runabout box stock class. And Grumpy finishing his moto, left-hand side of the race course. And he's going to bring his personally built GP 1800 in third place. Grumpy, 67 years old, man. His son, Patrick, a racer with Pro Watercross as well.
Hey, by the way, I just want to say, as we're putting down what the overall finishes are, this is completely unofficial, and it may depend on...
look at Grumpy.
Oh, Superman.
Grumpy doing the Superman. Look at him.
That's a super belly. Don't hit the knock.
Oh, man, what an enthusiast. So it's Patrick Serenich is Grumpy. His son is also Patrick Serenich, but his nickname is Tricky.
Yeah, 1.2.
Exactly.
He's Grumpy's 1.1.
Grumpy.
All right, and I guess we're talking about full teardowns for the runabouts today, down to the crank.
Grumpy thrilling the fans
see if
here.
they're legal.
Grumpy thrilling the fans here with the Superman.
Look at that. Marcio, run it right up on there. Hop off like a Hollywood movie star. Good ride. Marcio,
right.
did you bring tools? Yeah, for a crank to the crank teardown on the engine to make sure you're legal. Okay. That's the wrong finger to show me.
Race number 3 on the starting line. Amateur ski stock and ski 4-stroke stock. Super Jet, so it's going to be number 5. Janio Bermudez out of Weston, Florida on that Kawasaki SXR 1500.
And on the 336 out of Pembroke Pine, Florida on the Yamaha, 34 years young, Eric Medlin. And there they go. Eric on the Yamaha. 4-stroke.
So Eric has gotten the better of the two in this race this weekend on that Yamaha. And we'll see if he can continue that or if Janio's going to be able to put that more powerful SXR 1500 in front, which he has done so far here in the early stages of this Moto number 3.
And we got the Kawasaki out front this time.
Yeah,
Here we go. Let's make it a race.
You know, maybe this rougher water has given the Kawasaki a little bit of advantage. I don't know, Kerr. What do you think?
It's exactly what I said yesterday afternoon in this moto. So yes, I agree with you, Rick.
Good. I thought you might.
I know. You know I'll always agree with you, Rick, unless you're out of earshot. If you look over on the right side of the track, though, you know, Kylie was having some issues over there. The water, I don't know what the difference is here.
Well, that's the direction the wind's coming from.
Yeah.
And so they're hitting those waves are really sideways right there to the hull.
Exactly.
And they're having to negotiate that coming out at them, and maybe there's a little more resistance, a little more turbulence created by that wind on that right-hand side of the track, where on the left-hand side they're coming in towards the beach at a different angle and maybe not quite as challenging.
Yeah, well, we see the green flag out here is straight out, so you know at water level there's some wind going on, and that's not always the case, right?
Much rougher today than it was yesterday.
Absolutely.
No question about it.
And for those of you that have ever ridden surf, you know that you would think going into the waves and riding it would be the hardest part, but it's actually coming back into shore where you're dropping off the top of a wave, whatever that distance is, 3 to 4 feet, slamming the hull down, and then riding back up the backside of the next wave.
Yeah, very treacherous coming off the backs of waves, because typically, especially if they're sizable waves, you flat land. And that is very, very difficult. And I've had one of my best friends break his ankles doing that years ago in Oceanside.
Very common on runabouts.
On a 650, launching off the back of a wave and breaking his ankles, flat landing. And it's very, very difficult. And as opposed to going out into the surf where you kind of land at an angle that's a little more forgiving as the boat sinks into the water. But when you flat land,
you ride it down. You ride it downhill just like a dirt bike if you're going over rolling, jumps.
But flat landing especially if you're 4 or 5 feet in the air. Or
especially if you're on an older flat style hull runabout, because it just shocks your world every single time you come over there.
Difficult.
But having said that, it's Kawasaki versus Yamaha out here, and Yamaha had the hole shot and the win in both races yesterday.
But that SXR 1500 of Janio is really he's looking good here today. He could not beat the Yamaha Superjet of Medlin yesterday, and Medlin dominated, but today they've reversed position. Now Medlin is starting to make a charge here behind Janio, but he's got his work cut out for him, because Janio's got that big SXR, and Medlin goes down temporarily going into the back straightaway, and Janio's got that big hull of that SXR 1500 that in these conditions is clearly a little bit of an advantage.
You know, we talk about not riding in the pump wash and how that aerated water doesn't give you the kind of thrust and pump pressure that you want, but in rough water conditions, as the Cowie goes down out there, it's sometimes better to be right off the pump wash behind another boat, because it takes care of all the smaller waves that are out there. Halfway flags to go. Janio Bermudez. I want to say Bermuda for some reason.
Janio.
Is it Janio or Janio?
It's Janio, and you thought it was Johnny O yesterday.
Well, my
because it
hearing
sounded
and
like
people are yelling.
no, it sounded like they were saying Johnny O.
They were screaming.
We're like,
Johnny
that's
O.
not. I'm like, that's not Johnny O. Come on,
right?
Come on, man.
Johnny O, really?
But
we know he is. We saw him a couple of years ago in Panama City Beach, didn't we?
I've seen him a number of times recently.
Oh, and Medlin went down again.
Was with him in Vegas a couple years ago.
Yeah, making that turn in that aerated water.
So
no.
So Medlin has been struggling, and the SXR 1500 of Bermuda's has really dominated this third moto for these amateur ski riders.
It's just plowing through this rougher water.
And he has done a good. He's gone down a little bit, but he has figured it out and looking much better here in this third and final moto for amateur skis. So we saw the advantage yesterday of the Yamaha in smooth conditions, and it looks like just the opposite here in the rougher water this morning here in Sebring. Much rougher. The wind has come up overnight, and we've got some little bit of chop, which is significant compared to the flat water we had yesterday.
Yeah, this kind of chop. You can get some high speeds on that back straightaway section if you can get that boat up on top of them.
Yeah, that SXR 1500 hull is so big.
UFO. You see it?
Isn't that a drone?
Yeah, but it's unidentified to me.
I'm identifying it for you. It's called Maverick.
Nav drone.
I'm identifying it. Oh, man. Janio coming around one more time onto the front straightaway on that SXR 1500 Kawasaki.
Only a few laps left in this race.
Of course, that Kawai's powered by that ubiquitous 1500cc four-cylinder, four-stroke Kawasaki power plant that's used now in virtually all of the aftermarket hold watercraft, a la Commander, Fast Power Sports, Pro Watercraft. They're all using that boat. Hyperion in out of Japan as well. Has a beautiful looking watercraft that they've made.
Oh, somebody got a little lost. Eric just blew that unofficially.
But that Kawasaki 1500 power plant has proven to be the engine of choice.
Hey, define ubiquitous for somebody who didn't go to college like you, sir.
Ubiquitous?
Yes.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Universal?
You see them everywhere.
See them everywhere. Okay.
They're all over the place.
Ubiquitous.
They're ubiquitous. I
like
know
idiots on Facebook.
Ubiquitous.
Ubiquitous. You do good on Jeopardy, wouldn't you?
I don't. Doubtful. Janio looking good here this morning on that SXR 1500. Kevin Scott, our race director and flagman, doing double duty today on the end of the dock, giving Janio the white flag. Final lap for the Kawasaki SXR 1500 rider out of Weston, Florida, 29 years old. And now Eric Medlin, who really dominated yesterday on that four-stroke Superjet. He is going to look like he's going to settle for a second today, although he'll take the win in the four-stroke Superjet class. Unfortunately, those two watercraft are so different in power and really power aspects more than anything that they are running separate classes, which is a shame. It would have been nice for them to be very equal, but Yamaha and Kawasaki have different power plants that they use, so not the case, unfortunately. Can't really compare them. You really need to put a turbo on that Yamaha engine to make it competitive with the Kawasaki, and then it's probably a little more than competitive. Yamaha being a little lighter weight in the hull, slightly more nimble handling, a little smaller watercraft. But they couldn't get together designing these boats, which is unfortunate. So you have two separate classes, and it is what it is. And the checkered flag comes out for Janio. Bermudez takes a nice win. Good ride for Janio here in this third moto in the amateur ski stock class. Eric Medlin looking good, coming down the front straightaway one final time on that Superjet, and he'll take the win in the ski four-stroke stock Superjet class. So good riding by both these talented pilots this morning, which brings us to race number 4. It's going to be an 8-lap affair for IROC 1100, which is going to feature the number 321 of Jim Devlin out of Lake Placid, Florida.
Beginner runabout box stock on that 1.1 hand-built Yamaha. Patrick Grumpy Sarenich, excuse me.
724, Brownsville, Pennsylvania. On the Sea-Doo, 33 years old, Brian Oler.
And rounding out the field, the man, the myth, the legend, out of Wachulu, Florida, on the Kawasaki, 61 years young, Troy Weeks.
So, yeah, if you remember, we were talking about Grumpy earlier, and oops, I missed that. Sorry about that. Somebody down there want to grab that. Grumpy, man, working on the Yamaha assembly line for Yamaha Wave Runners in Georgia, actually had a hand in building the exact watercraft that he is aboard here, which is, I think, a first for us, Kurt. I've never heard of that before. And he worked on that assembly line, and that's a 2023 Yamaha GP1200R that he is aboard. And I'm sorry, GP1200. What is this? 2021?
Right, GP1800.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he built some extra. He put an extra cylinder on.
I think I just slipped a cog there. Went back 25 years. Or
he
20
fooled
years.
everybody and put a four-stroke engine in it.
And I'm thinking about the GP1200 because back then, which obviously was a 2-stroke, but that was the first runabout that I ever had a chance to ride that I really liked.
Right.
I thought riding that was very much more moto-like with the power-to-weight ratio, the hull design. And I was fortunate enough to be invited to ride a boat that R&D, Bill Chapin and R&D and Glenn had built for Nicholas Rios for the World Finals.
Oh, how terrifying was that?
I was announcing the World Finals that day, and Bill said, meet me at 6 a.m. at Body Beach. And I said, okay, and I got to ride that boat, and yeah, it was terrifying. It was about an 85-mile-per-hour GP1200.
Yeah.
But
I had the same experience on a similar boat.
But at 6 a.m., the glass at Body Beach was pretty forgiving.
Whoa, Troy Weeks getting a drive there. Jim Devlin holding back, trying to make it a race for these guys because he's ready to do pursuit out there, trivial pursuit. He's going to just chase them down. All right, Weeks out in front.
Somebody
on
having
that new machine.
Somebody with a problem back. Is that Grumpy back there? With an issue on the back straightaway right off the start. No, that's not. That is heck, is that Weeks?
No,
Weeks
right here
out in front charging. He is stoked on that that Kawasaki Ultra 310. And then Grumpy on his 1800 Yamaha. I got it right that time.
Yep.
GP 1800R.
Devlin already making his move forward.
So it was Brian Oler having a problem on his Sea-Doo, and he's learning the craft. We talked to him this morning, and he's just, he's learning. He told me this is pretty new to him, and he's working on it. And I had a couple get-offs yesterday, did some water samples here in Sebring, but he's really enjoying himself. He's having so much fun and learning how to ride that Sea-Doo around a closed course, which is, as you know, Kurt, way different than just being out riding, making turns and whatever.
Totally different animal. Boy, Troy Weeks is having himself a race this morning. He's already got almost a full back straightaway lead. Troy coming to terms with that new boat. He was on that triple-cylinder Kawasaki STX 1200 that we were speaking about, and saw that wasn't going to be, he wasn't going to be competitive on it. In last year, he's like, no, I like the boat. Now he's like, no, I'd like to win more. And so he's got a new machine. He's riding it well today, Rick.
Well, yeah, he showed up. Was it last year, 2 years ago?
Keystone Heights.
Here in Sebring. And
yes.
On that STX 1200, which was kind of cool to watch because we hadn't seen one of those vintage triple-cylinder Kawasaki racecraft in probably 2 decades out on a track. And unfortunately, it sunk over here in the little bay to our left, and he had all kinds of issues. And he, is a competitive motorcycle racer, and he wanted to race this class, and so he got himself an Ultra 310, and Lakeview Water Sports Lakeview Water Sports is his sponsor, and he is really pumped on that boat.
I was just going to show you this. Maverick, having turned my phone onto the live stream, he's got the drone footage. It's awesome.
Yeah, it
and
is.
look at the battle that's going out there. Jim Devlin has been pushing his way forward, and he'll come out onto the straightaway ahead. Doesn't have the horsepower to keep up. Devlin on the inside, Grumpy on the outside. Devlin was dead last, if you remember, off the start. He waited for everybody to go.
I like Devlin using that inside split as well as Oler. Oler decided to go to the inside as well. Grumpy on the outside, but look at the difference in top end that Grumpy has on that supercharged 1800 Yamaha versus Devlin on a naturally aspirated Yamaha.
Yeah, unfortunately, Grumpy had the music on and wasn't looking at his GPS.
No.
Almost missed that first yellow buoy through the front. He's a second or third person to just fly by that thing today. I don't know why they doesn't seem camouflaged to me.
Well, I'll tell you what, on the track with those supercharged boats like that.
Oh, you get there quick, huh?
They are so fast that you know, negotiating turns and making them, you know, bend around these closed course corners is a skill that takes a while to develop.
Yeah, no question about it. And really, you need to develop your vision. Really needs to be at the horizon almost all the time.
And you also got to put the muscle into it. And you know,
of course.
The guys that, you know, the pros, you see them, and they just put a lot of effort and muscle into turning those high horsepower, relatively heavy watercraft around those corners at speed. And that is a skill that takes a long time to really develop.
Well, Grumpy trying the inside here. Overcooks it, has to slow it down to make sure he stays on the correct side of the sausage boy with the halfway flags out. Jim Devlin is chasing down Troy Weeks over on the far right-hand side, Rick.
Grumpy looked back down the straightaway to make sure he went the right way.
Hey, good for him.
Yep. These guys, and I
Shouldn't
will
have
tell
taped
you,
the mirrors quite as heavy.
We're having a lot of fun, and I will absolutely guarantee you these guys are having a blast out there. We talk to them in between, after the races, before the races, and they're just so enthusiastic and having such a good time. It's a joy to watch them compete.
Well, Jim Devlin is going to mess with Troy Weeks' Nirvana feeling here as he starts to chase him down. Troy looks over, sees him, kind of sticks it a little bit. Here comes Devlin. Devlin on the inside. Now Devlin will get on the course first, but he doesn't have the. He doesn't.
Oh, he's going to make the pass temporarily.
Well, if he cuts across
temporarily.
See, Devlin could have done that with Grumpy. He
He's
could have
smart.
done it with Troy, but he's smart.
He's smart.
He knows neither one of those guys is potentially going to back off the throttle, and that could hurt.
Yeah, he's really, really savvy to just hold his line because he knows those supercharged boats are going to come flying by, because they've probably got 12 to 15 miles per hour, maybe top end. You know.
Oh yeah, probably 10 to 12 realistically. I mean 70 down to 60.
Of course,
like
those supercharged boats are allowed ECU mods, so they could be doing 70 plus easily. And Jim's boat probably 60.
Well, you see it right there.
Tops.
Jim got onto the straightaway first, but he didn't have the top speed to hold back Troy. I think he will this time. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Devlin going for the inside. He is a veteran racer, knows what he's doing.
He's making faster turns. He's just making faster turns.
Yeah, good decisions, and biding his time, waiting for the right thing to happen.
He's just faster around the corner.
This is true, every corner.
Every corner. But
you
now,
slow her down the straightaway significantly.
Significantly.
Doesn't seem to matter, does it?
Nope. That's the beauty of this type of competition.
Well, and also knowing the course, he hasn't missed a buoy yet, or had any. It's just been like clockwork.
It's fascinating to watch the naturally aspirated boat, and it shows you with a skilled rider that you can actually beat a supercharged boat, but
Rick,
they are in different classes.
I think you just used the correct, well, you said adjective. You said beat. Those supercharged boats beat you up.
They do. They're a handful.
And as the moto gets on, you're getting more and more tired. You're not looking as, you're not as sharp.
It's hard.
You're physically
they're
drained.
actually harder to ride.
Absolutely.
Faster, but
ride.
harder to ride because they have more power. It's just like,
125 versus a 500.
Racing motocross.
Oh, dude.
I mean, 125s were easy to
easier.
ride. You get on a 500 and very, very challenging. Very few riders could ever ride 500s fast, where everybody was fast on a 125.
Oh, I remember Marty Smith setting quick lap times at multiple racetracks around the country, beating the 250s and the 500s. That lightweight machine and, a great rider on it.
White flag out. Devlin out in front of this one on that Yamaha, naturally aspirated Yamaha. He's in the IROC 1100 class, where the other three riders are in beginner runabout box stock. And really, that's the biggest difference here. They're beginners.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Jim is a more experienced veteran pilot.
Yeah.
And you can see the difference in the cornering speed significantly. Despite the difference in top end, the cornering speed on every single buoy is significant with Jim.
And look at that. Grumpy trying to be a good sport, was just kind of holding off the side there, and it's like, well, Jim, if it's going to take you that long to get here, I'll go ahead and accelerate and get out of your way.
Yeah, he's got the top end, but Jim's got the moves in the corners. Definitely slicker. Very smooth, in control every corner. You don't have as much power and speed going into those corners.
Right now,
a little easier.
Troy Weeks is thinking, I think I can get him down the straightaway.
Nuts.
I've got to get him. I've got to get him. He makes the turn. Not going to get him.
So Grumpy's going to have one more lap, and Jim's going to take the checkered flag. I'll tell you what, Kurt, that was a really fine race by Jim Devlin.
Absolutely.
Outstanding.
As were the prior two. I believe he won all three.
Troy Weeks did a great job.
Yes, he
but
did.
It was really fascinating to watch the difference in
time on track.
The
dude.
boats. The skill level, even despite the big horsepower advantage, the skill level really came into play right there, and that's a beautiful thing about the sport.
Yeah. If I were going to give a young rider, a new rider, some sage advice that'll help him all the way through, I'd tell him, get an easy to ride watercraft, maybe slightly underpowered, an EX would be perfect, and ride that thing till nobody can beat you on it, and then go for more horsepower, because at that point you will have learned to read the water, how to handle different water conditions, and you can take some confidence into it. Yeah. And you don't just pull a trigger and have this thing rocket away, as you and I both experienced when you rode R&D's boat. Bill Chapin. I'm sorry, I was forgetting Bill's name. And I rode, a supercharged one that somebody dumped a bunch of money in. Went across a small lake, a quarter the size of this, maybe an eighth. As 3/4 across the lake, I looked down, it's doing 75, and I still had a quarter throttle.
Yeah.
I pulled it, and the shore came up so quickly, I was terrified. I don't know how fast they're going, because I could not take my eyes off the shore. It was getting big real quick.
Yeah.
Wow, what a difference.
Yeah, no question about it. I agree with you.
For an old Sea-Doo rider.
I'm a fan of the modern, naturally aspirated runabouts in terms of recreational use, because as much fun as the supercharged boats are, they suck a lot of fuel, man.
Yeah.
And if you like to ride long distances, man, you have to, number one, have a place where you can refuel with 91 or better fuel, or bring a lot of extra gas with you, which you can with Sea-Doos. Or any boat, really.
Yeah.
You could figure out ways to bring extra tanks, but that's
Compare that to the EX, where it's 10 miles an hour slower,
Or
maybe 12.
doesn't have to be an EX,
But-
even. It could
well,
be
I'm
just
just saying.
whatever.
Yeah.
But they can run so much longer on a tank of gas. All right, beginner ski stock and vintage ski on the starting line, race number 5, and here we go. And Kylie,
Is that Kylie? Yeah.
Kylie Meyer back on the 550 today, once again with the sponsorship by Glidwell Racing, GPO Jet Ski, ODI, and FXR.
And on the 113 Yamaha out of Orlando, Alexandro Ociel. He's 22 years old and is dominating beginner ski stock. He's won both the first two motos.
Absolutely. So what a switch from the big runabouts, big modern runabouts, and Kylie is showing her skills on that 550, which is the original jet ski that created the sport, and amazing in comparison to the difference between those are the two extremes of pro watercross watercraft, right?
Right, the top and the beginning.
Yep.
I won't say the bottom.
550s
created the sport. Well, 440s.
Of course,
did,
we
but-
didn't know at the time that they were hard to ride because we just learned to ride them and had
Right.
I was talking with AJ last night at dinner, and I was saying, you know, I enjoy this. And yesterday, as I was watching Kylie ride, I was thinking back to, you know, the amazing amount of fun and good times I had riding 550s with all of my friends, primarily all over the West, but primarily at Lake Mead outside of Las Vegas. We had a wonderful, vibrant jet ski scene comprised of a lot of racers, but a lot of everybody. You know, everybody rode.
Yeah.
You know, the girls, the guys, everybody rode, and we all rode, you know, 440, 550s. And my God, I mean, it was just years and years of nothing but pure fun.
Well, my kids grew up at the lake, basically because of jet skis. I mean, literally. I got one, what was it, my 40s? Or late 30s, was riding a 440 with a friend who had one, and just thought that was the greatest thing in the world. This is after I recovered from a broken neck, 6 months of paralysis, and a huge road racing crash at Laguna Seca. Anyway, so for years I wasn't attempting anything that would, you know, put me in danger of getting in that kind of condition again. Because believe me, 6 months without moving or feeling a body part sucks. And then the 440 came out, and I'm like, I can't get hurt. It's just water. It only goes 35 miles an hour. I can live through that. And of course, then I had to get something faster.
Of course. But just so much enjoyment by this invention, the Kawasaki jet ski, exhibited by Kylie Meyer right here, and still campaigning. People all over the world, all over the country, still campaigning. The original 550, the JS hulls, which you know was used. You know, talk about ubiquitous. Now there's a ubiquitous watercraft. That was what you had. The beautiful thing about those as well that made the sport, I think, so popular for so many of us was the fact that they were light, you know, about 250 pounds, and we were all dirt bike racers primarily that gravitated towards jet ski racing, and you could lift them up. Two people could lift them up into the back of our also ubiquitous
Toyota pickups,
Toyota 4x4 pickups that we all seem to have, and that was the deal, you know. And just so much time and so much fun, camping trips, and just years and years of enjoyment on those 550s. And you know, what can you say? That really started this whole thing many years ago in the 70s, and really got big in the 80s.
What I'm seeing right now on the water is the same experience I had. I could ride it for a while and then I'd fall off. Ride it for a while. And you know I'm preaching to the choir here because you're 2 inches or 4 inches taller than I am. And I'm 4 inches taller than most everybody else. And it's not easy for a tall guy to ride a underpowered 440. You know, the more horsepower you get, the easier it is, the more stable it is, generally.
We rode so much that it became
second nature, right?
Oh my God, you could ride all day and never fall. I mean, it was incredible. Put two tanks, put 2 5-gallon jugs of gas through a ski every day, Saturday and Sunday for years and years and years.
Yeah, don't forget the oil.
Gotta
mix that oil with the gas.
Maxima 927.
Oh, of course. Was there anything else? Yes, Blendzall.
Yeah, Maxima 927 seemed to be the secret sauce to keep those piston port cast iron 550s alive, especially once you milled the head and put a prop on it, and off to the races you were, so to speak. But
you got to put as much money in as you can to make them as unreliable as possible.
But I just think about that invention that we're watching right here. Kylie down the front straightaway, rough conditions on that 550, and she's doing a good job out there taking the white flag.
She's hitting and getting, Rick.
From Kevin Scott. Yes, she is. And always talented young lady to watch ride. All right, Kylie working that 550 around one more time. Coming onto the front straight. Man, that is a workout with these rougher conditions here today. She has put the laps in, and she is going to take a well-deserved checkered flag here. Kylie Meyer, nice work once again. The 14-year-old out of Jacksonville, Florida. Always fun to watch Kylie and hear her fans cheering on the beach. Always great to see you guys. Thank you. Love the enthusiasm. So Alexandro Ocasio out of Orlando coming around. He is a beginner ski stock rider on that Yamaha Superjet. And challenging conditions out here, Kurt. This is not easy stuff here this morning here in Sebring. Got the wind up, got a little chop on the water, maybe even almost a foot of chop. It looks much smoother up here in the tower than it does on the water. When we see the GoPro stuff after the races, we're always like, man, it was a lot rougher.
Yeah.
Every time it's deceptive how much rougher it is when you're actually on the water. And that's a nice looking square nose Superjet that Alexandro is on. I noticed that boat yesterday. I thought, awesome. It's a really clean square nose. And those are very popular boats too in the vintage world. A square nose Superjet is in some circles kind of highly sought after.
Maverick, Richard Ignacio, is a magician. He is the premier streaming man on the internet, and was voted so a couple of years ago as #1 in the U.S. I'm watching the live stream now and along with the video, we've got closed captioning. It's absolutely fantastic for people like myself that can't hear. I said it's
Look at that.
Maverick, you're a magician.
Check out that square nose. We were talking about that yesterday. That's very, very clean, vintage
beautiful
boat. That looks like it's brand new.
Right?
It really does. All right, and Michael Osborne on the 43, right? Oh, that is the 4. I'm sorry. That is
Peter Dixon.
Peter Dixon out of Port Orange. Quick Life Clothing, Sea-Doo HX out of the water. Going to put in some quick laps. And then, what are we doing, Kurt?
Let me talk to our race director, because I believe he said we have got one more potential race depending on those people that want to enter it. Hold on a moment and I'll get back to you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, that is a clean, square-nose Superjet. I like the looks of that boat. That is really nice. Looks like he's got some, I don't know. Boy, that is a nice boat. I don't see front sponsons on that. Thought maybe he had some Pro Watercraft handling accessories, but it doesn't look like it. That's a really nice square-nose Superjet you have there. Yeah, love it. Nice boat, really, really clean square nose. I like that. That looks brand new.
Check, 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 check. Well, while Rick Lake takes a well-earned rest, we're going to have, if our juniors want to go out there and have one more race for fun, we're going to allow them to do that. Junior riders, if you want to get out there one more time and have a fun race, that would be the last race of the day. So if you guys want to run, let's get you to the starting line right now. And if you don't, we're going to say, hey, it's been a great weekend. Cooper looks like he wants to ride. They put your boat away? We'll go get it. Okay. It's got to be a stand-up. Well, Kylie Meyer, if you want to get out there for one more fun race, here's your opportunity. I don't know if you got to fill that machine back up. And then Cam Spooner, he's all in. Run around like crazy trying to find his helmet and gloves. You gonna ride that, Kylie? All right, sweet. And Peter Dixon coming across the line, and he will win the novice sports stock class in this Triple Crown. And hey, this is the third of the points right here, so that's an important start to the season, getting that win. Even though nobody else was here, we anticipate more sport boats coming to the next round. We won't have the Miami F1 races on the same weekend next round. All right. All right, I think Cameron's bringing out the big Kawasaki. You want to join them?
Can we join them?
We'll find out. Check, check. Cameron, are you going to ride your dad's boat? No? All right. Well, Cameron Spooner's in need of a stand-up craft. If anybody wants to allow this young man to go out there and race in the race. All right, gonna fire him up. And they are off and running. Eric Medlin out there on that four-stroke Yamaha Superjet. He got a good drive off the start. Kylie Meyer out there. Oh, rider in second place went down. Kylie will make the pass here. She goes nice and wide, slowly around the down rider. Good job by her. Medlin having some fun out front. And it's a fun race because, well, races are always fun. But this is for bragging rights and just to get a little bit more fun track time. We're glad that we're able to provide that for you guys.
Yeah, we get to see some different hull boats out there running around. The Superjet, the 4-stroke Superjet, the 4-stroke Kawasaki, and I think, a 2-stroke Superjet. Right?
I believe so.
Maverick, the master of
Everything.
Of everything, but the drone, these days, he's got it down.
I know, I've drone envy.
The drone pilot
My
extraordinaire.
envy just drones on and on and on.
What doesn't he have? What toy does he not have? Wow. All right.
This is, if you're on the
Wow.
World Wide Web, Maverick showing us an aerial view of Sebring. Shows you how gorgeous this place is.
There's that water. Is that the water tower right behind? Oh no, that's the lake.
Right there.
The lake. Very beautiful view. Yep, and there's one right here.
Oh,
There's one right behind us.
Eric Medlin continuing to lead.
You are. Is that where you're at? Right above the water tower behind us. There it is. That is pretty incredible. Amazing. They could use you over Ukraine right now, Mav.
Johnny Bermudez in the second position, Kylie Meyer in third. They're having some fun out there. They're serious about this.
Absolutely. Putting in some serious laps out here. Good water time.
Well, Jario taking the outside split, trying to make a move on Eric Medlin. He is starting to reel him in, Rick, little bit by little bit. Oh, good. Now that you said that out loud, I can put extra money in your account. You won't even know.
I hope you do. That would be nice of you.
Man, this live stream on my phone is absolutely wild. Oh, right.
Modern technology, Kurt.
Is that Medlin? Did he just go down and lose the lead?
Modern technology.
He did.
It's amazing.
That means Jario is out front.
Absolutely amazing what the invention of the iPhone has brought, right? Incredible. Yep, Steve Jobs. What a visionary. Yep. Incredible. World-changing invention. Fun race out on the water here in Sebring to close out the festivities this weekend of the round number 1 of the LIQUI-MOLY Pro Watercross Triple Crown presented by JETTRIM. Of course, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors. Our title sponsor, LIQUI-MOLY. Live the best, use the best to maintain your passion and man, any motorsports competition, world-class racing around the world, be it Formula One, MotoGP, offshore, boat racing, sports car, everything you could imagine. LIQUI-MOLY is now really a driving force at the highest level, and the protection that LIQUI-MOLY affords your equipment is incredible. Since we started using LIQUI-MOLY personally on our course martial boats, which are incredibly tortured every day, they're used every event for years now. They still keep running strong. Of course, Kawasaki, they're Kawasaki watercraft, and they've engineered a wonderful product. But when you add LIQUI-MOLY to that equation to lubricate those engines, it is absolutely unbeatable. JETTRIM, our presenting sponsor, bitchin' stitchin', handcrafted in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Absolutely incredible products. Mats, seat covers for your watercraft. They do incredible work. And we are not AI. This is the real thing. It is not AI. We are live and dangerous here in Sebring. So if you think this is recorded, if you think it's AI, I can assure you, absolutely not. We are right here in Sebring. Hope and stoked you're watching too. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. Of course, CBS, speaking of coverage, CBS Sports Network, our official telecast partner of Pro Watercross. We're here yesterday. All the cameras, the drone footage, everything capturing all the action yesterday in Pro-Am Ski GP. Great day yesterday. Our new broadcast partner, Smacker, joining the team this year, and you're going to see her in the upcoming broadcast. A wonderful young talent, wonderful young lady, joining Kurt and myself, bringing you the action. That's a lot of fun. Solas is the official prop and jet pump of Pro Watercross, a trusted brand in the marine industry, and they produce the top props and pumps in the world, and we are really stoked. We're pumped to have Solas on board. AOMC, the ubiquitous parts developer or parts seller in the country. Check them out. Anything you want in the world for your equipment, you get it at AOMC. And of course, our buddy Chris, the PWC doctor, proud to have him on board again. And we're winding things down here. We're really happy to have you with us. Kurt and myself having a great weekend. And Kurt has deserted me. He's off wandering around the race site. I'm not sure what he's doing, but we hope you enjoyed the coverage yesterday and today. It was a great weekend of racing again here in beautiful Sebring, Florida. We will be back at the end of June with round number 2 of the Triple Crown, and that's going to be announced very shortly. It's in Florida, and will be announced in just probably a few days. And it's a very, very popular race site. It's going to be good. It's going to be the end of June, and then we'll finish up the Triple Crown with a great event, as always, in Lake Hartwell, Georgia in August. So thank you for joining us. We're pumped that you were with us, and we will see you in a little over about a month and a half from Florida. For Kurt Nolenberg, I'm Rick Lake. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Pro Watercross has enjoyed 25 successful seasons on the water. The world's greatest watercross racers excite the senses, engage audiences, and build communities through integrated campaigns that get results.
It's a great tour. It hits a lot of hot spots. It travels, a lot of the U.S. and it brings you to all kinds of different demographics of people that you're racing against, people that you don't get to see all the time. It's a tour that is complete, from kids racing to adults racing, a lot of spectators, and just the best locations to go to. Daytona, Panama City Beach, Pensacola. We're in Georgia, Racine, Wisconsin, Texas. We go everywhere.
Beautiful spot, Naples, Florida. You can't get any better than that. And LIQUI-MOLY launching this range, it's marine range, partnering with such a great entity is just beautiful.
For season 26 and beyond, Pro Watercross continues its leadership role in environmental education, safety, and with a family-friendly vibe.
A lot of good people here. It's a good place to raise your kids and teach them how to succeed in a competitive environment. I've been doing it since 1996. My 17-year-old son's now a three-time world champion at jet ski racing, and he grew up by my side.
Are you ready? Get online with prowatercross.org.
Somebody comes out of this race as a world champion.
Come find your element in Arizona's playground. Live it up on the water. Play here on Earth. Adventure in the air. All around fun. Find your element in Lake Havasu City. Book midweek getaways and save. Learn more at golakehavasu.com.
My name is Juan Liscano and I ride for Miami Jet Ski Shop. Miami Jet Ski Shop sticks to LIQUI-MOLY, where we keep all our vehicles tip-top with the best in the industry. When it comes to performance or servicing, there's nothing better in the market than LIQUI-MOLY.